I don't think people need to take a picture of a selfie in the morning. You wouldn't want to see me in the morning anyway.
You're wrong there.
But yeah, I think I always take a selfie with people who want to selfie with fans and whoever. I've never proud of white crowd, I've never taken a selfie with
Nor am I.
So it's just not something I do. So social media is a double-edged sword. For someone who's private, I try and be. It's called your private life. That's what it is. So there is nothing you won't ever really see me posting my private life on relationships, my family. Recently was Mother's Day last weekend, and there were people on social media saying, "Why have you not posted a picture of your mum?" Well, why? She's a great woman. She's magnificent. She's one of the greatest women that I've ever met. But she would not be on social media. She isn't on social media. If I posted it, she would never see it. And I don't want thousands of people knowing who my mother is just in case. She wants her privacy. It's me who's decided to, or has from successive woman has then been sort of pushed into the spotlight.
Well, also I think sometimes, I'm sure you love your mum, and I don't suppose anyone would ever question it. But I think a lot of people on social media put things out there just to sort of, I don't know, maybe they just lack the confidence. It's like, I have to post pictures of me with my mum on Mother's Day, otherwise people are going to think I'm an ogre. I think I like the way you do it, and I think it's right. And you still have a massive following, despite not revealing. I think a lot of people on social media feel like they have to put this stuff out there because they haven't really got much else to say.
Or they don't have a platform as well to judge. But I am in photo shoots and I'm doing something like this. I have a platform. People get to know me in that way. Well, people don't. They feel like they have to constantly post pictures of their lives. And personally, if I find a relationship or with my friends or whatever, it's the personal moment that I remember. I think people are living through their phones now. They can't wait to take a picture of that fabulous moment, so already post on social media to be told it's a wonderful moment by thousands of people. Put your phone down and enjoy the moment. And I've sort of learned how to through travel as well. There are people that try and have interest in something like Danny Davis, Daniel Craig, Rachel Wise, Emma Stone. None of these people, not that I know of, are on social media. And when you do see them in film, and you do see people that have done taking part in an interview afterwards, which is quite rare that they've done. I'm intrigued because it still has that special, because I don't know about them, and I want to know about them, or I want to know more, and I want to know their views and what they're up to. So that makes it a bit more special. That's why there's a mystery behind it.
I'd like to read it in long form every now and again, rather than just a constant drip water torture of pictures. And I think the same thing is happening in the fashion industry. The more fashion brands are on Instagram and now Snapchat, now everything else, the more you just become immune to them, and I think people just stop caring. So I think the approach is.
I think the fact is as well, you already kind of, if you follow it closely, then it's not a surprise or mystery about what's coming out in the next issue, because you've already been told what's in the next issue of magazines. You've already seen behind the scenes, you already know who's shooting what kind of theme it is. So by the time it actually comes out in the magazine, you're like, oh, I've already seen that, that's great. When magazines used to, 10 years ago, people used to collect magazines. We couldn't wait for magazines to come out because we were in them, and that was our next platform to be able to show the next photographer or the next client what we were in. But what worries me more than anything on social media is that the younger guys come into the industry and say, they'd like a quick word, and I said, of course, and they said, I went for a casting, and they said I was perfect for it, for the job. I didn't do anything. And then the client would say, well, the person behind you, it was down to 3 people, you actually were in 3rd place because they weren't as good as you, but they had no social media followers. Now, as a creative point of view, why would you not choose the best person for that creative, for that story? And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a story out. But the social media numbers are now so tempting for people because they'll say that if that person's in it, then we've already got 200,000 people.
I think this is the thing. I think a lot of the time there's a lack of confidence in their ability to tell their own story, and they are, people are buying an audience by hiring people with a bigger following. And I think you know, and I guess it must be tempting if you're starting out in the industry to want to try and get those social media numbers up. But
yeah, we were, you know, if you think of what's Light Blue, and we were with the Light Blue was pre sort of social media days.
Yeah.
That was
what,
2006, like 2006. So, and even though we hadn't pushed it, it was a completely new campaign, completely new idea, creative, very, very different. The fashion industry really had this, you know, sort of masculine Italian man, and everything else was about androgynous young boys.
Yeah.
Totally different. But you know, I put it down to Mario Testino and Domenico Stefano. The brilliance of creating something different that caught the imagination, that 3 days on there were 11 million people on the internet trying to look at that picture, trying to look at that video.
Yeah.
That wasn't through social media, which still shows me, and I've done it with what I'll try to do with M&S, where we're doing the videos, is not even particularly showing us about the lifestyle, it's creating something very different. And it captures people's imagination, and it's still, so if you get the creative right, I still think that people will love to see something different.
Yeah.
And it takes a while of its own, whether the person has 2 million, you know, Instagram followers in that or they don't. It will just, they will see it, they do well, they want to share it organically with everyone, because it's so good, because I still think that works.
There's a feeling that you are the first male supermodel, and that's probably true. I mean, I can think of a couple of models who were big. I remember a Scottish guy in the 80s, whose name I can't remember, who looked a bit like you, but he had very tight curly blonde hair. But, I mean, I think you probably are the first male model to appear on Graham Norton. I think, what is, you know, is there a point at which you felt that, you know, you tipped from being just a model to being, I mean, what does a supermodel mean? Is it a very famous model? Is it a very good model?
I think you can call, you know, super is just another word for being probably at the top of your industry.
Yeah.
That's why there are 10 female supermodels. There's always been 5 or 10 male supermodels within the fashion industry that the fashion industry knew.
Yeah.
Exactly the same as a girl. It's just they didn't have that commercial value outside of fashion because they couldn't be named.
Yeah.
And that's why I couldn't quite see why no one had pushed to that level. And they did, you know, there were female models who got, they had a name either through television shows or dating a famous girl or something like that. That's how they would. But there was no one who did it on their own credentials to actually say, you know what, we are in the same campaigns. My following is almost as big as yours. Why am I not being paid as much?
I think it's a difference.
Big. Not as big. But they're still.
I mean, this is the only industry. I mean, I think modelling is probably the only industry where, you know, it's flipped on its head and women do earn significantly.
It has. I mean, I've tried to sort of turn my head and say to the guys seem to be happy, but the other guys I would talk to seem to be very happy at the level that they were, and that's very, very. You know, you should be very happy. But you want to push, and get them. You're on the same campaign. You're pushing the same product. The product is saying the same thing. You should be. Push it. And we did. Now, you know, the thing is now, it wasn't just to do with male models and female models. It's to do in 2000 and 2008. The reason I started branding myself was because I wasn't up against other male models. I was up against the best actors in the world for campaigns. And all these people say, I'm not a model in my fashion. Everyone wants the fashion is still, I think, the pinnacle of where people from music, people from sport, people from movies still all want to be in fashion.
Yeah. Well, there was a point at which I kind of distinctly remember magazine covers and big campaigns for watches and fragrances and all the rest of it suddenly tipped from being models to being actors. And that's, I've never heard anybody say that before, but it is a really interesting point. All of a sudden, those buggers who are getting paid a sodding fortune for being actors are all of a sudden stealing the bread from your mouth. And, you know, let's be honest, you need a lot of bread today.
But, you know, and that's even to the point what Wilson just said, that he's going to come out and he's just been designing clothes for the last few years and he's going to have his own clothing line. So it's even transcended that a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
So you made a very conscious decision to say, right, okay, I'm a model, but I'm going to have to be more than this if I'm going to keep the best bits of my job. I'm going to have to become a brand as well as a...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you look at we looked at the platforms of who had done it successfully, which was the female supermodels, and how they've done it. It's a big team, and my team, it's a very small team compared to a lot of people, but select all over to see I've been with for 15 years, Gandy, Charlotte Gibson, my publicist who's here today. It's a very small team, but we I'm trying to hide people. Yeah, so it's a very small team, but that's the way we had to build and saying like, what isn't working, what is working, and it's almost like a game of chess. You know where you want to be in 5 years, and you don't have to say where you want to be. But for me to, with M&S, I always knew I would have loved to have started designing, and pull back on what you there. Not there before that, but you start putting the pieces or pulling pieces together so that you can think that's very good. So,
well, hats off to all of you because you've done it incredibly successfully without, I think, compromising your integrity, your personal integrity, which I think is it's admirable and and very, very well done. Because it didn't feel at all like it was being engineered in that way. So. Yeah, very good. Now, can we talk about how you got started? Because I didn't know this, but it says on this card, and I'm hoping this is right, that a friend of yours slung you into a modelling competition at college.
So I was at university.
What were you studying?
I was studying multimedia, computing, and something
He's a
else.
geek.
Yeah, I wasn't quite. It went on really downhill after freshman week.
So you looked at a computer once in the first term.
Yeah, and I thought, well, maybe I should get it.
Maybe I'll go multi-geek.
And then it was when we were in the last year, and my friend Abby's jokingly, I got a call actually from Devon, who's still at Select, and he said, so people kind of speak a bit differently in the fashion industry sometimes. They're not used to university, so we got the phone. How about this is Deborah, you've won a model competition. And I was like, oh, clearly some nutcase in the end of the phone. Thanks very much, but why now? I had the phone down. I was in there with Abby, and I said, some absolute nutcase called me up today. So we saw that modelling competition this morning, and she went, no.
This morning, the TV show.
The TV show.
So what did she stuck you in?
She took me in that.
What she stole some pictures from
Yeah, we had pictures
on social
of
media at that point.
Exactly, we've known each other for 3 years through university. She put some photos in, and then I called Select back or Devon.
So she admitted that she'd done it.
She'd done it. So
Yeah.
I called them back, and it had to be myself and her on a television show. I thought, why not? She refused to go on a television show. I had to go on someone.
Yeah.
So I went home, and then my mum and I just said to my mother, by the way, television crew coming tomorrow, it's this morning, and you can't say no because no one else will come, you've got to see it.
Yeah.
And she had a screaming fit for about half an hour, refused to do it, and then she realised I had nothing else, no other choice, so she was on television with me, and we won the competition.
So when was that? What year was that?
That was 2000, end of 2001.
Okay. So it's a while. 15 years.
15, thank you, 15.
I had a degree in engineering and computers.
We closed now, wow.
Yeah, well, that's another one. We're not talking about my stupid career, we're talking about your excellent career. So if modelling wasn't what you originally planned to do, and clearly it wasn't, you were going to be a computer multimedia man, did you have a plan? Did you have you just went and did a degree and thought I'll work it out later?
So my other great love with it is cars, and the race cars and renovation and stuff. They're a passion, and I've had that passion since I was a young boy. So I went to photography art school for a year.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did this, but anyway. It was supposed to be art college, and I got bored of art, decided photography was for me, and we had a bit of a disagreement, and they said, I think you better leave and go and do photography elsewhere. And I said, well, I don't. And they said, well, we'll chuck you out. So I said, thanks very much. And I enjoyed it. And then I went to go and work for Auto Express magazine. as a sort of just a work experience.
Yeah.
Just a car maker in London. And I went for 2 weeks and ended up staying for about 4 months before I went to university. I got paid £50 a day to drive cars to the track at 18 years of age. I loved that job. I didn't know why I loved it.
Because it was paid £50 a day.
That's true.
Even I know you get more than that.
Yeah, it seemed like a good at the time. But it was my passion, but it's something I do now. I review cars and write cars for cheap units, and so I've got a full circle and do the writing as well. That's why I can't write, but I can drive it.
Yeah. So Light Blue, we've mentioned already very briefly. This was huge. I remember it. I remember the print ads. I remember the television ads. This was the first big TV ad campaign. Well, certainly it was the first global ad campaign that you've done. How did that feel? Did it feel to you when you did that? Right, that's it. I'm sort of made now.
I think it was a good platform for me to be able to push to where I wanted to be. I like that I still said I could have sat my laurels with that campaign, but it's still going today. Not the original, we reshoot it for 3 years, and it's the 10th anniversary this year. I think they thought we were starting it, so I don't know where I'm going with that one. I'm sure it was fascinating.
No, it's a boring question, I'm sorry. But this was that the first, so you worked with Testino on that campaign?
He was the first big photographer I ever really worked with as well.
Yeah, he's nice, isn't he?
He's a great guy, absolutely. And we were, I kind of knew from actually we were heading out from Naples to Capri on the speedboat to marry Testino, and I thought, okay, this is a bit of work. I have to get used to this. Yeah. This is what I imagine fashion was about. This is the big campaigns. Instead of getting changed in the back of a transit van in freezing cold Germany somewhere, this is what I pictured, and I thought, right. And it was phenomenal that campaign. But I signed up for that down to the brilliance of Dolce & Gabbana and was married to Testino because they completely switched the man modelling and the fashion on its head. And everyone tried to follow it, and everyone is still trying to follow it. Every campaign since then. Their fashion campaigns is a muscular, classic guy in Capri. Some people even shot in Capri on the beach or a big change.
He shot me once. I was drunk in a field at a friend's wedding. He was doing the wedding snaps. It wasn't the same. I didn't get the same. I didn't make it to both. Honestly. I would like to see them. I've never seen them. I did look high-eyed. So you must have now worked with a lot of big photographers.
Yes. Yep.
Who are the most fun ones to work with?
Marrio's fun. I mean, I sort of now have to put teams together to shoot campaigns created by other ones we create. Mario taught me to have much fun on the shoots. If you have fun on those shoots, you will get the results. And a lot of people, when I work with companies now, they're like, I don't even want to do a shoot. It's so a little bit quiet and depressing, and I don't get it. The shoots you get on, like, believe me, this shoot will be fun. I'll bring in friends and teams and everything. Mario taught me that. I will still work with Mario and the same team to this day. Sam and Mario and we have an absolute blast. And the results were always brilliant. And that's what I try to bring to my shoots and my creative when I'm shooting at Nest or a magazine club.
Because for those who don't know, they can be pretty long and fairly grueling. You do, it isn't just like on a speedboat looking hot with your speedos in the sun.
Well, we shot South Africa. We were shooting the thing I can't talk about in Nest, but I was doing it. There's a future line coming out in Nest this summer, and we were up at 4:30 in the morning, and back at hotels at about 10:30 at night. Then we had dinner and then go to bed. We were doing 19-hour days. It wasn't too bad with South Africa. So they are long days, and I'm not going to complain about that because a great location with a great team. But if you're not with a great team, it's a long day. It's a long day and that was for 5 days. And what was lovely about that, a lot of teams you could get back, and most people just rush off to their rooms and wouldn't want to see you for the rest of the time. And I said to the team, someone wanted to get some dinner with me, and everyone went, great. We all went off together, and they'd all been working 70 hours a day. So it really was good. But yeah, so we're talking about Mariano Vivanco, who did my first benefit shot when growing up in the industry. There was no, apart from Mario, actually between the two of them, there is no better photographer, I think, set and who shoots a very sexy shot, underwear shot, swimwear. Mario is the best. Yeah, they're all fun. There's photography.
Anything you'd like to work with that you haven't yet?
Big George, I saw him with Big George, probably on time, Big George.
His photography is very different to the sort of style.
Absolutely.
It feels a bit grimy in an obvious kind of way. They look very real, they look very gritty.
Yeah. And that's what when you think about a creative, you have to match those photographies too, and you think, right, I want to make a gritty film, it's a bit more urban, it's a bit more street, and you want something like Tom O'Brien, who actually one of the pictures, right? He took that picture of me, it's very Hollywood, it's gorgeous lighting, it doesn't work for everything, but it makes things look absolutely super. Andy was someone I would love to work with, still have no chance.
When are we going to see you on the cover of Vanity Fair Hollywood issue? Well, you have to become an actor first.
You do have to, yes.
The question here about acting. Is that, so this is the interesting thing. Models now are called upon not just to stand and do stills, they're obviously asked to do film, and television and fashion film is obviously a very big thing now. How much of that have you done? Do you enjoy it? Could you see yourself becoming an actor, or does that seem...
We did the fashion film as it intrigued me, with a different way of selling something. So I did the film with Helena Christensen, and we did another one for Beyond Castan, which is a shooting run by one of my closest friends at the time. And we did it with David Shaw from Friends. He directed it.
I remember it.
And it did very well on a very small budget. And it nearly, it always came second and third winning these awards, and Gucci or something must have been a very, very small company. And it was a different way of selling a fashion film. It was different how lots of people do it. We did that quite a while ago. Now everything is there's still campaign. And it's a fashion film. I think actually, yes, I think he did actually. Once in Twitter, we were shooting around.
Yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, it was something that I loved to do. It was a lot of fun. Then Kristen and I did that one, I really enjoyed it. But there is so much going on. I almost have to say, we've been sent so many scripts and they haven't quite been right. A lot of guys would have grabbed the opportunities I had with the script I had and been offered them, but it wasn't right for me.
Well, you can't do everything.
No, exactly, just what my acting would say that. But no, I would like to go off. Again, it's a different art. Obviously, you're very camera aware. And, been modelling for 15 years, so that's something you don't have to learn. It's a whole different thing from walking, talking, learning lines. I enjoy the challenge. If it's the right script came up, I would jump at the chance and try and fit it in.
I have to show some pictures. I don't know if now is the time. There he is, look how handsome he is. Look at that blue shirt and those blue eyes. Are you seeing this? Are we supposed to talk through these? Are you annotating? Here I am looking handsome. Number 2. Here I am looking handsome on a chair. This is just for all of you. This is basically just Paul at this point. Oh, he's there, he's looking handsome in the street. Who's that? Is that Joe in the back?
I think that's big Joe too. That's from LCM, so that's
I mean, that's another thing that we haven't talked about, and it's not on these cards anywhere. You have had you are the hardest working ambassador. So, for those of you that don't know, the London menswear fashion week is called London Collections Men, which is a tongue twister of a title, and it's got a colon in it as well. Can't forget the colon. It's an important colon. LC colon in. You are an ambassador, and this was something that Dylan at GQ came up with as a means of trying to get the word out. And he picked one or two people. Have you been an ambassador since the very beginning?
I was on the committee of an ambassador.
Yeah. So you go to every show. And there are a lot of shows. Almost every show. You've not missed one of mine, so I'm very grateful.
That's true. Sometimes like yours early on a Sunday morning, which instead of 5:30.
Yes, true. Anyway,
No,
well,
but it was-
getting there.
thank you. But that's exactly what I've always said, that we...
And you don't get paid for doing that.
God, no. But that's... We're working British, and I'm very proud of being British. It's why I could have worked for many companies in do my range, but I chose M&S.
Yeah.
It's why I just signed up with a big British company. British is very important. We should support our Britishness. You do. It's something you can absolutely. It's not always easy. That's the thing. It's just not an easy thing to
frankly.
But we have money for this industry. I do through filming, and
Yes.
that's why I want to publish it. I've always tried to support that. So we didn't come a little bit with the content policy. I wanted to get my back to it as much as I could, and I always do.
Well, you know what? I mean, it makes a